Hi. We are filming after 2 months of saying we might be back.
Nope.
That never happened. 2 months had flown by. I'm trying to say as much as far as possible in the video. 2 months had flown by way faster than we had thought.
Yep.
We had swear to God we just filmed that video. Nope, it's December now and we haven't uploaded. So we thought, why not film a tiny video of catheterization? And this has been a huge discussed topic on our video. Here, I'm going to be behind the camera to handle stuff. So, catheterization has been a huge part of my quadriplegic journey, and most people, when they watch back on our videos, they don't think I'm a quadriplegic because it was so unknown and I wasn't traced in the version I actually was. Well, fun fact, I was a quadriplegic when the channel started, and I'm still a quadriplegic. I've been a quadriplegic for 3 years now, and a few months. On September 2024, hit my 3rd year, and I got injured by falling down the stairs at 19 and a half because I had Lou Gehrig's disease and unstable balance. I had a big seizure, tried to drink a glass of water after it, or tried to go downstairs to get the glass of water, and since I had done that many times, I decided not to use my walking aid, cane, or any of the other supplies that I used to fully fulfill a balance, and I fell and cracked, slightly damaged my C3 vertebrae, blown up my C4, blown up my C5, tore through my full C8 nerve, and blown up my T1, and I was a T10 paraplegic for 2 years and 3 months before my related accident. But in the early stages, I wasn't using catheters because, number one, medical expenses were too much for us. We could not afford catheters. Number two, I was not to the idea of using catheters because back then, medical knowledge for me was so poorly and so horrible that I couldn't even get anything I needed, which was really, really horrible. And I'm so grateful for the barely past year. In 3 years, I finally got everything. Even then, I didn't get everything I needed. So maybe for the past few 9 to 10 months, it's really just been that way. And that's horrible out of 30 plus. But we're going to talk about catheterization and show you an old video that we filmed about catheterization because we kind of really went in full depth. And keep in mind, this video is a little bit outdated and it shows my inaccurate levels because even then, a few months ago, we didn't even know my full levels. Goes to show how horrible. But this is an old video, so it might. Apologies if it has medically inaccurate things or it's not good angle or something, because this was old and it was just part of a random weekly vlog that we did on SMA Vlogs. So we're going to talk about catheters and go into the depth of catheters now that we're out of the intro. So catheters there's several catheters. There's condom catheters, there's straight catheters, there's French catheters, there's all-in-one system catheters. There are many, 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 many catheters. And all of them can go to show that everyone needs a different catheter based on their functionality, sensation, or what they can do with the catheter they have. My friend Luce, who is a T8, T9, T10, T11, and T12 complete paraplegic, uses a straight catheter, male, and she just uses the bathroom that way. But I have to have it all in one system. Number one, it's easier to clean up since I'm a giant. Number two, it is also better functionality for my husband and my wife who does the catheterizations because I am so tall and I require a way bigger tube than most people. My area is not that big. I'm just big. So, we're going to show you the catheters that I use most often, and we're going to tell you my schedule, and we're going to show you all the fun things. This, my friends, is an all-in-one system catheter. Just lay it on my... Thank you. So this thing is a all-in-one system catheter that is right near my shoulder. And you're probably thinking it might be a little bit harder. Actually, it's way easier to clean up, to get everything done, and this is my preferred method. An all-in-one system catheter contains the tube that needs to go up and the bag attached. So basically like a Foley bag, but just not, it's intermittent. So it's meaning it goes in and out and through changes and doesn't stay in me permanently. Or for a long periodic of time. Yes. And so these are really easy to use, to throw away, and to clean up, and they're just an awesome catheter that I found. Because back then, I think I was using an all-in-one system catheter even back then, but sometimes I would use the small ones and I feel they would shift or not really go in properly, which can cause AD, which is just my body's way of telling me something's in discomfort by headaches, blood pressure, and everything, heart rate, tachycardia, whatever. That's the catheters I use. There's not really much explaining to it because it's basically all in one. You get to have the bag, you get to have the tube, and you get to have the lube.
Is that kind of like lube?
Yes, lube.
Ours.
Yeah, I cannot pee on my own. I cannot void on my own because I do have a fully, completely paralyzed bladder.
Yep.
I am basically, essentially paralyzed from the neck down, considering just my thumb. Anything else, if you remove my thumb, I'm paralyzed from the neck down. And so I can't use my bladder or void myself. So I can't pee on my own, essentially. And so I use catheters to help do that. And it's basically just shoving up the tube into your bladder so that you can void. Release. And so that's always been a common thing for me. It actually wasn't common for me in the first 2 years of my injury, actually. It became common to me a year ago. And that's crazy to me to think, wow, because back then we didn't have knowledge. We thought it was urine retention, and it was, but for the wrong reason of paralysis of bladder. So I did not have a really full understanding of that. I still don't. I mean, I do obviously have a way more bigger understanding, but probably not even all. So, these catheters just help me go to the bathroom on a regular, daily basis. And I'll tell you my schedule. So, I go on the schedule to, prevent UTIs or bladder infections, which is basically a urinary tract infection, which is a horrible thing to have. And it's a common, sadly, thing for paraplegics and quadriplegics, or even people who have a condition that paralyzes their bladder. I go on this schedule to prevent UTIs, and the best way. And back then, I used to have to go every single hour, because I had a 100 ml size bladder, and the normal human size bladder is 700 to 600 ml. And my bladder is 500 ml. So I took Botox, and I had many operations to help stretch the size of my bladder, and to hold more fluid without kicking off, which is just basically my bladder voiding on itself without me trying. On its own, I guess. I don't know. So
you peeing on yourself essentially without you knowing.
Yeah, incontinence. So me and my wife only have to go on a 5-hour schedule instead of a 2-hour or 1 hour. Good God, I would die. Because during the school day, I would have had 9 to 8 catheterizations.
Oh, damn.
But now during the school day, I probably only have 1.
I have 2 or 3.
Because by the end of the school day, I have like 2 more hours of free time before I have to cath the second time that day. And that's wonderful. Sure, at 1 a.m. you have to cath me, but that's after like 5 hours before bedtime. Or Matthew, if we go to bed earlier, it's okay. We have like 5 hours of sleep before we have to cath me, which is so much better. But no, I really do find it very useful to have the size of the bladder that I do have. And it's a very useful thing, and I really love it. With my daily schedule, I am on 4 scheduled catheters a day because there's not 25 hours in a day, which causes me to maybe do an extra catheterization more than I need to. So that's why I normally get to 8 catheters a day, because we want to be sure that my bladder is fully empty before night. The most good schedule. It took us months and months to find that schedule. Actually, a year.
Jesus.
We barely started the schedule in September of this year, so it took a whole year to find out my proper schedule. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful month, with the schedule now. And so basically I just go catheterize every 8 times.
That's a big...
Cath 8 times a day. And you're probably thinking, that's still a lot. Because a human does not pee 8 times in a day.
A human.
A regular able-bodied does not pee 8 times in a day. I'd go through 5 scheduled, essentially for the sake of me and Matthew. We like to do that. I should be going through 4, and that's okay. My catheter company can supply more, which is great.
If you need, which
yes,
is helpful.
And so we just change the thing like, hey, can you like send us 8 catheters or like maybe 40 to 50 catheters every week, which is so lucky to me. I love that. I can love 50 catheters every week rather than
I do
105. My friend Luce has a 2-hour schedule and goes to the bathroom more than I do, so she has 105 catheters per week, so has about 55 more. She can fit 2 of my weeks in her 1. Catheter company sends me maybe 60 catheters per week, just to make sure nothing goes wrong. Like if anything goes wrong, if a catheter slips up or something and we can't reuse it because it's sterile, I can just use another one, and that's okay. 60 has been working fine for me. This bag Don't. There's catheters in there. There's not 60 of them.
All over you.
That would suck.
I'm crying.
So there's catheters. There's like 8 or 7 in there. So that won't even last me a full day. It will probably last me the bare minimum. So we have to restock our overheating bag a lot. I have these catheters to help void. And I've been having them for the past year now. Now on to the final video. It's an old one. It's probably not medically accurate. I hope it is though. Hope you guys enjoy the video. And if you ever want to know how a C3, C4, C5, T10, T10 complete quadriplegic casts,
There you go.
this would be the video for you. We are obviously going to block out the most inappropriate bits. This is just for the little weekly vlog. This isn't for nothing special. But that catheter right there near my foot, that catheter right there on my foot is what goes up into me so I can use the restroom since I can't have to expel it myself. So in our baggie, our overheating bag, we have enemas, but I don't need to do that. We have this tiny itty bitty mat, which will go gracefully over my hands that you see right here. And we always fold it like diligently to the point of enough just being tiny. We don't like the big flat boom. Oh, I move. Now we might put a black square over this so you don't have to see it or anything, but what Matthew does is he lifts one of my legs. If it's blurry, we can't tell because we have to focus. And inserting a catheter is hard, y'all. Especially in a 1-foot person.
Yep.
You hold me down, and then Matthew will continue to insert the tube. You have to check where the tube is to pull it up to its actual destination. And that's what we found is easiest for us because, yeah.
That.
Well, it's very easy to get misled. Okay, so right now, that's the tube, and it's in me. And so this is how we cath, and it.
Tell my head bobbly.
Yeah, it's 3:39. We'll see you then. All right, so it is 3:43. So it did take some time, but now that the catheter process is over. We will show you how we take it out. Now this process is way more simpler than just inserting the catheter, but we always know how much goes in, which is a lot, so if you're streamers, don't look. But he always puts his hand here, and then he pulls the tube out.
My stomach is apparently growling up a song. God.
I think that was the insertion point. That much head went up. I'm gonna turn on flash so you can see it a little better. That much head went up. Not that much, but for my height, that is not that bad. So what you do is you that's an end. That's where he had it. So what he'll do next is he'll take off the mat, but make sure everything of that stays there. He'll zip up my fly before doing anything else. And then we put this mat back in here in our little overheating bag. And then he'll lift me up, all while trying to maintain sanitary because we can't do that. Then he'll lift the chucks pad that was under my booty. And my head will lay back there. And then he has everything here, and then he'll just throw it away. So that is how you do a catheter process on a C3, C4, C5, T10, T10 complete quadriplegic. See you later. Now, thank you all so much for watching.
Bye.
And we'll see you later. Bye in the next 5 months.